Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now February 8th of 2025, and given that the Meghan Markle drama is only getting worse over time, not just behind the scenes over at Netflix, but also in the public eye, we know that everything is beginning to backfire on her career, and everything is beginning to fall like dominoes at this point when it comes to all of the major Hollywood studios beginning to realize exactly what's going on with Meghan Markle and Netflix. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So one thing about Meghan Markle that we all are very well aware about is the fact that she is very self-absorbed, she's narcissistic in nature, and most of all is that she's very greedy. She tries to stay in the limelight at all costs, even if it actually does result in losing fans. We all know that overall photo opportunity that she did at the LA fires, we all know that that was a very big mistake on her part. That was a very bad move because that was very offensive to not just a lot of people in California, but to a lot of people around the globe, and they all saw right through it. Now, what's interesting here has a lot more to do with Meghan Markle and what's going on right now over at Netflix, as Netflix is now beginning to take action against her because there's a lot of backlash both internally and publicly, and we all know at the end of the day that Meghan Markle is likely to not get a contract renewal if and when this With Love Meghan series fails miserably with the ratings, and most likely it will. We'll have to wait and see come early March. Interestingly enough, though, on top of everything here, what's very revealing is that with the Meghan Markle drama now going out of control, both behind the scenes and in the public eye, one significant development going on now involves more to do with Meghan Markle getting banned in the most unexpected way possible, and how it's creating a domino effect on her career. It turns out that after multiple moments of outrage from Markle toward the test screeners for With Love Meghan, that were not only blamed and name-called by Meghan herself, but they were also labeled as biased critics when they handed out poor reviews of the episodes that they witnessed. As of now, the Netflix CEO Greg Peters finally convinced the board of directors to ban Meghan Markle from the test screening room, and will now no longer be able to observe the screeners watching the episodes besides her producers. Now, this swift move came from the majority of the board as an act of desperation to save the internal chaos happening over at Netflix. However, shockingly, the majority of the board is still fighting CEO Greg Peters to move forward with more Meghan Markle projects at Netflix. Now, the latest update is that the majority of the board also banned Markle from making a very lengthy speech, get this, at the 2025 Oscars about the LA fires. Surprisingly, the board over at Netflix got in touch with the Academy and convinced them to ban her from taking the stage and making that speech about the LA fires that were going to close with a self-promotion of With Love Meghan on Netflix. Now guys, before I move on, let me just say one thing about that. Could you imagine if Netflix actually allowed that to happen and actually let her get away with that by not only going on stage and talking about the LA fires in a very inauthentic way, mind you, but to also close with promoting With Love Meghan? I mean, that is very self-absorbed, very offensive, and it's very bad for the people over in California that went through such a tragedy. So I think that that was the one good move by the board of directors in at least the past couple of months. I'm not saying that I am a supporter of them. I'm a very big critic of the Netflix board, but at least they are slowly but surely beginning to realize just how much of a ratings disaster she really is when it comes to anything that she appears on. And this would have only resulted in worse ratings for the Oscars 2025 without a doubt. Now there's more to this, and there's a lot more to this, so let's get into this further. Now, of course, on top of everything here, we already know that Meghan Markle is trying to scramble through any other studio to give her a promotion or to give her a cameo or a small role or any kind of an appearance in a movie or television series. So this is an ongoing thing with many different Hollywood studios out there so far. Those like Sony, Universal, Warner Brothers, and more. They have been turning their back against her and really calling it quits. Now, Meghan Markle was furious over this opportunity for the Oscars that were stripped away by Netflix in a very unexpected move that she did not see coming, and is already once again blaming sexism and misogyny from the executives based on their latest call to save public backlash and outrage. The other one side the one-sided, of course, board members at Netflix are still, however, fighting for Meghan Markle to not only have a With Love Meghan Season 2 that is already greenlit behind the scenes as a contingency plan, but also a new Meghan Markle movie that they are pushing for while other board members want her out completely. So we talked about this like a month and a half ago. They do have Season 2 ready to go when it comes to the basis of the story, when it comes to the generic idea of what it's going to be about. They have that all set and ready to go as a contingency plan, alright? So that basically means if there is a contract renewal, they'll have a little bit of a jump start to get into production for the next season. If they don't have a contract renewal, they can just throw the overall story in the trash. It goes either way. Now, Meghan Markle is even in the talks right now with the Academy, of course, on challenging the acceptance from the Academy by Netflix to ban Meghan from entering or making way to the red carpet to avoid any questions from correspondents. Now, it turns out that Netflix already advised multiple trades and news organizations to not ask her certain questions if she is seen on the red carpet. However, the discussions between the Academy and Netflix are now ongoing to prevent her from ever appearing to begin with, and that ultimate decision will be made by next week. So, to really make it a little bit more clear here, she was, of course, banned from making that speech by Netflix to the Academy and promoting her With Love Meghan series, but now they're in the process of getting her out of the Oscars altogether. So that would be another good move on their part. Already, Meghan Markle is trying to put together a legal case against Netflix behind the scenes for engaging in this type of activity, and it's desperately trying to save her career at all costs. Already, Netflix banned Markle from making multiple public appearances at certain events as well. So it's more than just the Oscars 2025. We talked about the multiple events that Meghan Markle is being banned from by Netflix. They're telling her, you're out of this event, you're out of that event. This was a series of events, by the way, across the board, one of which had a lot to do, and it never happened. It was supposed to be during the holiday season, right around Christmas time in Times Square to promote With Love Meghan. That ultimately never happened because Netflix really did not want her there. They saw the backlash coming well before that trailer even dropped in January. There's no doubt about that. But what's interesting here, yet again, is that you have the board of directors beginning to wake up of how much of a disaster she truly is, and how she really is a personality that results in ratings disasters, alright? Now, it's one thing to say that she's box office poison, but this is not a movie. With Love Meghan is going to depend on Netflix subscribers. It's going to depend on what the ratio is going to look like, if this show is going to result in more subs or more unsubscribers. It's going to be very interesting to see what goes on with the data there and the viewership. But ultimately, Netflix and its CEO Greg Peters has, a good head on his shoulders right now. He seems to be the most level-headed out of all this drama. He's really trying to pull everything together, and I gotta give him credit for that, I really do. He made some mistakes before in the past, absolutely. There's no question about it. He made a lot of mistakes over at Netflix. But one thing is for certain is that he knows that this show is too much of a disaster to support, especially with the Season 2 or more projects connected to Meghan. But, I would like to hear what everyone has to say about this ongoing issue over at Netflix. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.